Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you to our webinar. I'm Michael and Trevor Toll, the Marketing Manager for Solution Systems Inc. Today we have customers and others attending this webinar, so just a bit about Solution Systems before we begin. We are located in Rolling Meadows, Illinois, and we have been in business for 35 years providing software, IT infrastructure, and web development to organizations in the Chicagoland area, as well as Wisconsin, Indiana, and the Midwest region. We are a Gold Certified Microsoft partner. We sell, implement, and support an ERP software called Microsoft Dynamics NAV. NAV is a business accounting software that is geared toward manufacturers, distributors, and service companies. We also sell, implement, and support CRM as well as outsource IT services to our customers. Today we are very fortunate to have Rick Baxter with us from Cost Control Software, and he will be conducting this overview. So I'm going to pass it over to him so we can get started with that.
You can't get the recording. So the recording looks like it has started. So hello and welcome to those of you joining live. Appreciate your being here. It's Wednesday, September the 3rd, 2014. And for those of you joining on the replay, glad to have you here as well. This should be about, I'm thinking about a 60 to 70 minute presentation. Depends how long-winded I get as I go through this thing. So I am going to get started, top of the hour, so turn to page 2 of your study guide, and we're going to be talking about three different ways to get a smoother startup when you're implementing Dynamics NAV 2013, and this applies whether you're a brand new installation or whether you are upgrading from a previous version of NAV into NAV 2013. There's some things I'm going to be recommending today that will definitely make for a smoother startup when you are moving into the NAV 2013 Windows client. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. We're going to talk about why adding Foundation Pack, that's an add-on, is a smart thing to do. We're going to talk about why adding Reports Pack, which is another add-on, is also, in my humble opinion, a very, very smart thing to do. Both those are. And also I'm going to give you some tips on ways that you can learn the NAV 2013 from a DVD, and I think it's a pretty smart way to get up to speed as well. Now, as far as vision, let's just assume that you're about to implement a NAV 2013 installation. So where do you start? Where do you start when you're starting to think about that kind of an implementation? Well, the first thing is, and I'm going to move it right up here to the top because I think this is important, is that you've got to pick the right database. Okay? And did you know that you have a choice? A lot of people don't even know that you have a choice when it comes to selections of databases. And I'm here if you're just now realizing that there are multiple databases out there on the market. I want you to know that you do have a choice, and we want to help you pick the one that is right for you. But you definitely have a choice, and we certainly hope that you'll pick the one from Cost Control Software, that's us, called Foundation Pack. So if you have questions on this, just when you call in or send me an email, just mention Foundation Pack. I saw it on the webinar and I want a little more information, but hopefully I'm going to kind of get you up to speed here today. So let's kind of get started. So this is the first of three. I'm going to go through three different components to make a smoother startup. The first thing is adding Foundation Pack. The second is Reports Pack, and then we'll talk about ways to get you up to speed on the product itself. Some easy ways to do that with some DVD training. Okay, so Foundation Pack. What is Foundation Pack? Well, it is a new full access role center and CRM role center and all sorts of additional functionality that we have added over probably the last 10, 15 years now of doing NAV software. We've had a lot of requests for certain features. And so what I'm going to be doing today is kind of taking you through some of the what I would call pretty cool features that you can add to your NAV installation. And so the first thing we're going to take a look at is our full access role center and the CRM role center. So let me just park this out of the way and we'll talk about these role centers. I'm in a role center called Small Business. This is a small business role center, and notice the menu structure down the left side. It's kind of interesting. Home, financials, then it goes into fixed assets. So this is the financials, goes to fixed assets, and sales and marketing. So I've got all my sales and marketing information, my to-dos and salespeople and so forth. My purchases area with all my purchase orders, vendors, requisition worksheet, all the things you do on the purchasing side. So if you're getting the drift here, inventory, these are all things that you're going to manage in your business. And so I've put everything, including the posted documents, because I think this is important as well. All of your posted documents should be easily accessible right from the main role center. So you can kind of just organize this this menu. And by the way, you can customize this navigation pane if you need to. I won't be covering that today. I'm going to be covering that in a webinar tomorrow. If you are interested in learning about personalizing the your pages within NAV, join our webinar with the Navision user group tomorrow from the NAV UG group. So we got a presentation tomorrow at 1. Okay, but for the role center, the concept of the role center is you want things that you get access to on a regular basis. So I call this my small business role center, which is quite frankly different than some of the other role centers. Let me just show you what other role centers are out there. I'm going to just go into the profiles here. By the way, if I move too quick for you, this will be recorded and you'll have access to the replay so that you can pause any of this and review it as needed. So I do move fairly quickly through the software. You'll see I've got a Easy Security role center, I've got a Job Manager role center, a Manufacturing Plus role center, I've got a Sales Manager role center, Salesperson role center, and the Small Business. Notice it's checked because that's the default role center I'm going to use for this presentation. Now let's talk about some of the nice little features that we add to the software, and I'm just going to kind of poke around. These aren't in any particular order. It just kind of gives you some ideas of things that we've added to the software. So the first thing I want to show you is history lookup. So if I'm on a sales quote, so I'm going to drill into these 3 sales quotes, and let's just click on that and drill down. So here's 3 sales quotes. If I open up one of them, we'll just double click on one of the sales quotes. By the way, you know, you can also, I just double click it, but you can also right click it and edit, or you can come up here to the top and edit. So there's multiple ways to go in and edit an existing quotation. So here is who it's to, here is the base. And the question that came up to us, this has been going on now for 10 or 12 years, probably 15 years. People that are doing quotations always say, well, I want to know if I ever quoted this item to somebody in the past. So one of the things that we thought would be helpful is to add a choice right on the ribbon here. This is the lower ribbon, not the upper ribbon. This is your lower ribbon specific to the lines for sales history. So I can just click on sales history. It opens up a little dialog box that tells me what my recent sales have been of this item. So it's very specific to the item. Okay, to this item that I was on, this would bring up a history of all the sales. Now, it's first going to try and filter this by this customer. So I would want to see, have I ever sold this base item to this customer before? And in fact, it has. And so I see the item, I can see the price. I have all the information about that item right here available to me, as well as being able to hit show document so I could see the actual posted sales invoice, back in the history files for that base and all the other related information, the shipment dates and the quote number and the order number. And so I have everything basically available to me here from the posted sales invoices, and I was able to get to it via this sales history through from this quote. Now that sales history concept is also pretty handy on sales orders. So if I'm sitting here on a sales order and I want to edit the order, so here is side panel. Let's see if we've got any history on that. Now notice this time the item was not found in history. So sometimes you will be putting maybe a new item that's never been sold. You'll get a little pop-up that says this is not found in history. If it was in history, of course, the dialog would pop up and you would see the actual historical transactions. Now I showed you this on the sales side. The whole thing is available on reverse on the purchases side. So if I'm on let's say a purchase order, and this would apply more for the purchasing agents, but it applies a lot. You just think about the number of times that you're sitting here, let's say a top panel, and you want to know when did I ever buy this and how much did I pay for it, because I want to see this in the eyes of the purchasing agent. So it's just a different view into that purchase history into this instead of the sales history. And I'll show you in a little bit where that's available on the item list. Maybe I'll just show that right now. Get that out of the way. Let's go into inventory. So if I'm sitting here and I wanted to go to that 70,001, so I'm sitting here on the base item, we've added sales history and purchase history because you can go either direction. So if I'm sitting here on this base and I want to see the recent sales history, boom, I can get access to it there, as well as when did we buy the item. So it shows me the actual transactions, and of course I can hit show document. So it's available either from the sales orders, purchase orders, item list, all throughout the system. Very important component of Foundation Pack is that history. Second thing on the list is email direct. We had a lot of customers that wanted to be able to, when I'm sitting here on, let's say on this quotation, let's go back to that quote, because you'll often want to send a quote to a prospective customer. That's why you're creating the quote. And of course you can always print it out. You can always print the quote and put it in the fax machine and send it that way, or mail it. Some people still like to mail the quote, but we added a new functionality called send as PDF, and this is included as another feature within the Foundation Pack. So this is part of that group of functionalities. So I'll just open this up. We'll allow this to generate it. I put it over here on my other screen. Let me drag this over here. There we go. So it grabs the customer's email address, what the subject is, quotation 1009. That's this number here. Puts in the attachment is the quote itself as a PDF. It automatically generates that, and it generates the body as well. Puts in a nice little advertise. You wouldn't put mine in here. You'd put your company logo in here, and links to your websites and links to your contact us and so forth. And then it puts in the text. Andy, thank you for the opportunity to submit this quotation. Here's a quote 1009 on this date. Here's the amount of the quote. If you call me if you have any questions, and then down at the bottom would be your company address and so forth. All comes in automatically. I didn't type any of this stuff in. This just fills in the body for you automatically. And then when you hit send, you will have to hit obviously send. Your customer is going to get this email. And the quotation, I should mention that. Let's just open this up so you can see what he's going to see. This is the quote. This is what it looks like. Want me to zoom in a little bit? See if I can zoom in just a little bit. That's better. Okay, so here is the sales quote. It's going to put your logo on there, of course, and a sales quote, quote number, some boxes here, and place for the customer phone and fax and email address, who it's selling to, where you want to ship the product to, and then as much description here. Remember, this was for a base, 24 pieces, and then some additional, your reference, extended document number, external document number, your website, your phone number, your fax number would all be here. And I always like on a quotation to have a place for the a customer or prospective customer to sign it. So I think it's real important on your documents to include a place for them to sign off and then just fax it back to you. Again, this general, I should mention this while I'm sitting here, this general look and feel of this document, this is what I call an NAV document, a sales quote. This is part of what we call reports pack, which is, I'll talk more about that in just a moment, but this is what they look like. So whether it's a sales quote or sales order or order confirmation, an invoice, a purchase order, they all have this same general look and feel. We've designed them so they all fit in a number 10 window envelope for those of you that still like to mail things out. So this is the sales quote. Remember, I got to it because I was on this email, and the attachment, I just opened up the attachment. So let's close out of that. I don't need to save that. So it just, basically, it's right here on the menu, send as PDF. By the way, if you're on a purchase order, for those of you that are on the purchasing side, same thing applies. So that if you want to send this purchase order to your supplier via a PDF file, you just hit send as PDF. You'll notice the way we designed this, there's no SharePoint required, and it is one at a time. I will say that. It's just, you know, you pick the one that you want to send and send as PDF, and out it goes. But it's very quick, very easy, and you can customize the document as far as what text appears on there and who it goes to, because you might have a different at a customer. Well, for example, on quotes, when I'm doing a sales quote, the quotes go to one person, but a sales order or a sales invoice goes to a different person, so you can have different names on the email address per customer. Okay, so that's it on there. Let's go a little further on this document. So that's called our email direct. That's the send as PDF functionality. Again, everything I'm showing you this morning is going to be included in Foundation Pack. I'm going to skip over defaults. I'm going to mention your reference, external document number, and posting descriptions. All three of these are very important fields to use. I want to encourage you as a user of NAV to really be using these, even if you don't have Foundation Pack, which I can't believe you wouldn't have, but even if you don't, you would definitely want to use those fields. So let's take a look at the quote itself. So here's the quote. Always make sure that your reference and external document number are exposed and functional on your screen so that these print on the document. So when you print a sales quote, or if you're on a sales order, let's go to the sales orders for a second, and let's just open that up. The your reference and external document number. So your reference could be something like Johnson job, and then the external document number could be like PO. So if the customer gives you a PO number, that could go in here. And the other one that I think is really important, I'm going to encourage you to do this, is this posting description comes in by default on a sales order as just 1002. See, it just puts the number down here. That's really boring. So that's going to go to General Ledger. So you want good information to go to GL. So I'm going to put JOHN, so Johnson job, and I'm going to put panels. So I'm going to put some description in here that when I post this thing, it is going to send that information, that posting description, to General Ledger, and then you get a whole lot better. It's easier to audit your GL side because that's going into the GL transactions. So we ensure that all of our screens, when we ship the foundation database, these fields are all fully exposed and accessible to you, because it makes it so much easier to send that information and print it on documents and reports and so forth. So definitely want to use that information. Okay, let's keep going. Lots of little features to tell you about. I love showing this stuff. I hope you're enjoying what you're seeing. Okay, I'm going to go into fact box improvements. Fact boxes are so great. In NAV 2013, these things really can make such a difference in your presentation to your users. But you've got to use them, okay? You've got to use them, and you've got to learn the skills to build your own. Because there's times that you're going to say, oh, I could put a fact box up there and make it a more useful display of information. Let me give you an example on the item list itself, and I'll show you a couple things here. So let's go back to our inventory. I'm going to go into the item list, and the first thing right here is my list of inventory items. I want to move this down just a little bit. Here's an example of a fact box. Okay, now this doesn't exist. If you go into your NAV 2013 and you don't have Foundation Pack installed, you're not going to have this fact box here. You can add it. Okay, I'm assuming that maybe many of you on the call will know how to add a fact box. If you don't, you can also attend one of our training sessions and learn how to do that. But in this example here is the supply of this item. This is my base item. Shows the quantity on hand without quality control. Now yours may just say quantity on hand. Here's quantity in the QC location, quantity on requisition, quantity on purchase orders, and then a grand total supply. So I can see at any given time what my supply is for this item, as well as the demand. So the demand is coming from component lines, sales orders, service orders, and planning lines on jobs for a total demand and then a net available. This shows, in fact, if I gave you an opinion on this, I would say this item has been poorly purchased, because I've got 4,300 of these items on hand, and I hardly have any demand for it at all. So I'm going to end up with about 4,000 of these things in excess inventory. You don't want obsolete inventory. You want a good balance between supply and demand. Let's take a look at side panels. See, this is well, this is better, but it's not perfect. This shows my on hand is 4,176. I've got 10 items in my quality control location. I've got 65 on purchase orders for a total supply of 4,251. Notice my demand is pretty high. My demand is 8,446. So I've got a big demand for this item, and it's going to drive my availability negative, which I can cope with that. To me, I mean, it's one of those situations where it's a problem, but it's a good problem to have. Okay, because I can just replenish the quantity on hand up to another about 4,000 items, and then I should have a good balance to accommodate the demand. What you don't want to see is things like this, where here's a top panel, and look, our quantity on hand again, 2,500, no demand. Well, there's 27, hardly anything. So that's what you want the screen to scream at you. You want it to tell you something, and that's what these fact boxes are for. Now, those fact boxes are available on items, they're available on vendors, they're available on resources. So for your people, when you're looking at your resources and you want to know information about their usage, their sales information, all that kind of stuff, it's available instantly in a fact box. You shouldn't have to be clicking up here for statistics to get this stuff. So use fact boxes on your list, your cards, all through the software. And of course, the way I'm showing this to you here today, this is the way we ship out of the box Foundation Pack. So if you don't have Foundation Pack or you're thinking about upgrading to 2013, think about including all these fact box improvements already done for you. Okay, requisition worksheets, all sorts of documents and SKU cards. We've really made an effort to improve all that. Okay, I'm going to go to page 2 of your study guide, and we do include several reports, again, standard reports with Foundation Pack. Let me just point out a couple of them to you here. First one is a commission report. I don't know if you've ever thought about having some kind of a commission report, but for if you just go to customers, it's right on the menu, commission report. This is not a standard report in NAV. This is an add-on report, part of Foundation Pack. So it shows for salesperson John Roberts, these are his invoices, the line items. Can you see that? Probably not. You zoom in. Sorry, I always forget to do that. So it shows the line items, the quantities, the price, the extended price, what the commission is, and the commission amount. So it totals that up for you per invoice. Okay, very nice report for those of you that need to do a commission reporting to your sales reps. That's included in Foundation Pack, that basic report, and then you can, of course, make modifications if you need to. Vendor performance, this is another good one. This comes up quite often. In fact, let me mention while I'm here in customers, there's similar to vendor performance, there's shipment performance, and then I'll show you vendor performance. So on shipment performance, same concept, but this is on the customer side. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, so here it is on the customer side. Here's a good example. This here's Canon Group. This shows how we have been shipping to our customer. This is the dates that the shipments went out. This is the planned shipment dates, and then whether it was delayed. So these 3 were late. This was on time. This is late, late, late. This one's on time. So we're only at 41% on-time delivery to this customer for the 12 items that he's ordered. Now you can filter this over periods of time. If you want to see this just for January of this year, you can apply a filter and see your on-time delivery for a particular period of time, or even a particular customer as far as how you're doing. You might even want to send that report to the customer so that you can show off that, like here's one where you're 100% on time. So Progressive Home Furnishings would get a little report from you saying thank you very much for the purchasing these items, and do notice that we ship them 100% on time to you. So a nice little of reporting that could go out to your customers. Then the same thing on the vendor side. For those of you who might need a vendor performance, we've located it here on the menu. So vendor performance basically allows me to go and print, get this bigger, sorry, for each of my vendors. These are the items. So I've shipped these, received these 4 items. Here's the date it came in, the posting dates, and the expected receipt date, and I could then see a difference in days. These all came in on time. This one came early, actually. This was on some early ones, and so he's 100% on time, early on time. So you get the idea. Same concept, but this one's on the vendor based on the number of line items within that range of dates. So a lot of customers want a vendor performance, customer performance, and sales history detail. I like this one as well. Of course, I like all the reports. I think that's reporting is so important. Everybody wants very good report feedback as far as information. You still want hard copies. I mean, everybody works, even if you just view them on screen or have them emailed to you. You can have these automatically emailed to you on a regular basis. I get, for example, here in-house, I get my accounts receivable aging report emailed to me every Monday morning. And it just comes automatically. Nobody has to go in and do it. We use a product called Autopilot, which automatically generates reports and sends whatever report or process I need to generate. And I just have it send the aging report to me every Monday morning. But here is the posted sales invoice line detail, shows the line items. This gets into a little more calculation where it's showing the unit price for this customer and extended price, the unit cost and the extended cost, and then the item profitability. So we're really analyzing line item profit and order invoice profitability as well. It's just adding up the total price and subtracting and giving me the profit per invoice. Now, these are the kinds of reports that people have asked cost control software to generate over the years, and that's why we kind of include them here in Foundation Pack. So as you're starting to see, and I apologize for going through some of this stuff very, very quickly, but I just want you to know that there's so many parts to the Foundation Pack. I think it's now up to close to 100 features that we have expanded on NAV feature set, and just include these things, and it makes for a great startup database. Purchase side line comments, that's kind of a self-explanatory. I don't think I'll go into that, but this allows you to put line comments on the purchases side of the it only existed on the sales side, and now you can have line comments for your sales guy or your purchasing agents as well. A special PO receiving screen. This one's pretty nice as well. So if I'm on my purchases, there was one for already in NAV for the shipments, but they didn't put anything in here for receiving. So we added in a special receiving screen that lists the purchase orders. And let me just open this up and you can see immediately what this does. Here is the purchase order quantity to receive, so the receiving agent can just come down and enter in. So if let's say you got a partial, whoops, that's more than the partial. Oh, that one's released, so I can't do that one. But they would just come in and record the quantities here, and then when they post it, it just says, are you sure you want to receive in the order? And you say yes. So there's no receive or invoice, it's only receive. So this is all they can do, and it's a specialized screen. There's no price information displayed. There are the dates, of course, but no dollar amounts are shown on this screen. Specifically designed for the guys on the receiving dock, just to help expedite their daily processes. Okay. Physical inventory. Let me just mention this one. I've got so many things I want to talk about. I'm just going to mention this one. For those of you that do serial number or lot number physical inventories, the out-of-the-box NAV did not do a very nice job of presenting for you on the worksheet. When you print a worksheet to go out in the warehouse and take a physical, it didn't print the serial numbers. And it was like, what? And it didn't print the lot numbers. So we've now added an option to include those, and it will make it easier for them to do their physical inventory for those. And this applies, of course, only to those of you that do physicals by serial number or lot number. Next one down here is the extended enhanced rapid start company. One of the things that we feel is that rapid start is a really good idea, but they didn't take it quite far enough, which is to give you a complete template company. So we've set it up so that all you have to do is kind of rename our company and go. Let me show you this concept here. So if we go into, let's go to the departments where you can see the list of companies. So if I go it's under IT, I believe. IT under General. This is where you can see your list of companies in here. We provide a company called Kronos Rapid Start 2, which is all your posting groups are set up, your chart of accounts are set up, everything is in there. I think close to 100 tables are pre-populated with some very good get started kind of data, like payment terms and that kind of thing are already in there, so that all you have to do when you're ready to start a new company, you just select the company that you want and then you pick copy. And it just makes it so quick to spin off and generate a new company with this new function. Now, this is in R2. For those of you that have 2013, I don't believe this existed in 2013. So with the 2013 R2, and of course in the upcoming 2015, which is due out this winter or fall, that's going to be in that version as well. And so it'll just make it real simple for you to be able to take our Rapid Start company and copy that to create a very new, it's like a template. It's okay. It's a template company, and copy that and start from that point. Okay. Last little thing I want to mention, of course, that's part of the foundation pack is our Rapid Start template company. And then some extensive CRM improvements. I really like the CRM in NAV, the built-in CRM that comes with it. I mean, it's free. Use it. The only problem I had with it is some of the screens and the layouts didn't give me the information I needed. And I got frustrated trying to use it. And so I said, okay, I've got to fix this problem. That's how we do a lot of things that we do here, is if we get struggling and with it ourselves, we know if we're struggling, the end user is struggling as well. So one of the things that we, in fact, I'm just going to do this all the way. Let's just switch over to that. I want you to see this role center. So I'm going to switch over to a different profile, to the sales manager profile. So I'm just going to, double click on that and open up this role center, and let's just fire this thing up. So I'm going to open up the sales manager's role center, and I want you to see how different this looks than what obviously what I was showing you there was the foundation pack, the role center, the small business role center. This is the sales manager role center, very specific to what a sales manager would need on his screen. So he's going to need to see opportunities, he's going to need to see to-dos, quotes, things like that. And then the menu, very targeted with sales quotes, sales orders, sales invoices, items, customers, contacts, to-dos, all the things that you would need in a CRM kind of system. So let's just take a quick peek at some contacts, because this is also kind of handy information. Now, the first thing I want to show you on the contact list, this is pretty much like it comes out of the box, except fact boxes have been added. Again, fact box is so important to the usability. This is a usability thing. And having information here at a glance. So if I'm sitting on this contact, Andrew Lane, I can, clicked and drag, I can see number of opportunities 3 and what the estimated value is right from there. Or if I just want to open those up, I can either drill here, or I can just click opportunities, and it's going to come down and show me the one. This is a one opportunity, one, and this one's in process. And what I found, I wanted the values there, information. I wanted that handy on screen. I also wanted to have on screen anytime, because I'm a big believer in using the phone over email. Yeah, I still wanted Andrew's email address, but I wanted the phone number right on screen. So in your CRM system, go in and check out how you get access to the phone number for Andrew Lane. It's next to impossible. So we really made an effort, not only here or on the opportunity card. So if I open up this opportunity, just double clicked it. This is install a new hydrometer thing. This is what the opportunity is. It shows who it is. Then on the lines down here, if we open up the lines, it's going to show the dollar value, the estimated closing date, the probability of closing. This is currently at 30%. I can update that if I need to. And then a place for comments. I think it's real important when you document anytime you have a conversation with your prospect against this opportunity, you should document that in the comment area. Notice again, lots of fact boxes, easy access to quotes, easy access to printing the details about this customer or an opportunity list. Maybe you want to see a list of all the opportunities. So this is I think this is one of the reports we added in. Yeah. So this is one of our reports. We added in an opportunity detailed list, and it shows you each opportunity, who it's for. I should zoom in a little bit, maybe. The description of the opportunity, whether it's one or not. Of course, you can filter that, and then the value of the opportunity, a little chart. It's kind of nice to use the charting functionality that's embedded in the software. So use the charts, and it basically gives you a hard copy, a report of your open opportunities. This, of course, could be filtered by salesperson or however you wanted to generate that. So, and a quick list of opportunities. I always like to kind of look at my open opportunities, the ones that are in process. Always like to be sure I've got values. And I'm a big believer in charting. So I think it's important, if you don't know how to use this, learn to use the show as chart functionality. And then just, put in, for example, across the x-axis, the salesperson code, and up and down the y-axis, let's put in the value, calculated current value. So you can actually see that opportunity list. This is the list view of it. This is the view of it as a chart. So learn to use the charting functionality. I have a whole class on this charting on my YouTube channel. If you've not been there to watch that, I encourage you to go to Cost Control's YouTube channel, find it's about a 15-minute class on how to use the chart functionality within NAV. In fact, I know I did. I did a whole webinar the other day on just charting, a detailed one. It's about an hour presentation. If you really want to learn chartings, go to our replay section on our website, costcontrolsoftware.com, webinar replays, and you can find it there. Okay, so let's see if I mentioned everything about, so some of the things we did, salesperson role center, specifically for a salesperson. So that salesperson only sees his customers, his opportunities, very specific, and then the sales manager, which is what I was just in, see all of it. Charting and dashboarding, of course, is very important. A contact list and card, to-do list and cards, all these things have been enhanced. Better reporting, I showed you an example of that. All these things, okay, is all part of this. If I go back where I was, number one here, I'm on number one. I'll get to the other ones here real quick. Foundation pack, and this is what I wanted to spend most of the morning with you on, or this early afternoon here, on foundation pack. So let me stop and ask a poll. I always like to do a little bit of polling. I haven't done much here. I know I've kind of rambled away for about 40 minutes. But I do want you to kind of get a chance to communicate with me here. So grab your keyboard, and I'm going to ask this poll. And so now that you've seen it, would you start with Foundation Pack? Would this make sense for you to start your new NAV 2013 implementation? Make this as your target database. Call this a target database. So, or just type in, if you liked what you saw, say, I liked what I saw, I want more information. If you want more information, let me know that as well. So Mark says, Troy says, absolutely. So Troy likes what he's seen so far. Thank you very much, Troy, for participating. Any other comments? Ron says, liked what I saw. How does it impact upgrades? This is what you would upgrade to. And of course, we try to put all of our feature functionality into a kind of a separate number range. to make the upgrades as easy as possible, so that, let's say you start with 2013 and then you want to upgrade to 2015 when it comes out this fall, and our products are moved forward, of course, then you would just let us know, and we either do the upgrades, or the vendor, your local vendor or supplier, does the upgrades. But we make it very easy for that to to happen. So low impact on the upgrades run. Okay, I'm going to go on to topic number 2. So there's 3 parts to what I'm going to kind of talk to you about here today. Second part is reports pack. And reports pack, so there's 2 things that you need to add to make a smooth startup, because the whole concept here is, how do you have a smooth startup when you go and implement NAV 2013? So the second thing is reports pack. There's 34 enhanced reports and documents. Now, documents, those are things like sales quotes, sales orders, order confirmations, sales blanket orders, sales credit memos. So when you generate a credit memo or a shipment or an invoice. Now, I showed you what that looked like. Let's go back and just kind of refresh. Let's go back to, I want to switch back to the other Roll Center, so give me just 2 seconds to pop into that other Roll Center. I'm going to come back to my Small Business Roll Center, make that as my default, okay it, and then relaunch my NAV. So let this open up. So one thing about Roll Centers is you do kind of jump around a little bit when you're kind of explaining it. You won't do this so much when you're actually up and running live. Okay, so let's just give you a couple more examples. So let's say purchases. Let's go to purchases, and let's go to purchase orders. So I'm going to come down here to purchase orders. This is my list of POs. Let's pick a big one. It's more fun. So we'll pick a big one here. Now, if I'll just print this. I'm going to print this, and I'll do a print preview. Put the company address in here. And what this will basically help you understand is what our purchase order document looks like. So this is the, can you see that? Can you zoom in? So here's the PO. It's going to, this vendor didn't have a phone number or fax number, and there's your reference again. That's so important. The vendor's invoice number, order number, all that is going to automatically print and fill in these boxes. Then the descriptions, and then down at the bottom, the total. One thing I want to point out, let me zoom out because this is real important. So I don't know if you can see this. Bear with me. I'm going to fit whole page. There we go. Okay, now you may think, well, this PO looks kind of funny because all this information is way up here at the top, and then it's only got one line and then a whole bunch of white space, and then the totals down here. We do that with a reason. We like to have lots of body room for all the descriptions that you're going to have on a document. I've noticed that the POs, then purchase the invoices and sales invoices that come from Microsoft, the header takes up half the document. It drove me crazy. And so I had very little room to put in the line item detail of what I wanted down here. So we've corrected that with reports pack. And so like on purchase orders and credit memos and shipment documents, you've got lots and lots of body room so that you have a better chance of a single document, a one-page document, has everything that you need on it. So even if you have 10 or 12 line items, they'll probably all fit. Whereas on the Microsoft version, you're going to get page 1, page 2, page 3, simply because the header is taking up so much space. Okay, so we've really worked to design our document layout so that the body is where the action is. So you want the body to have as much content room as possible. So that's what is included in there. Oh, I closed that document, or did I? No, there. Okay, so So that you get the idea. That's what our sales, the purchase order, I jumped into purchase orders, purchase quotes, sales invoices. They all look very similar. Okay. Work orders, pick documents, the statement, we kind of cleaned that up a little bit as well. So all the documents have been kind of reviewed and enhanced to make them look as professional and nice as possible. Then you also have some reports. Now, some of these I showed you already. I showed you the posted, I think I showed you this, what I call my profit per invoice, PPI, profit per invoice report, that shows what the profit is for every invoice that you're shipping out and includes the credit memo history as well. Order fill, inventory inactivity. Have you ever wondered what inventory items you've got sitting out there in inventory that you haven't sold in 6 months? Guess what? There's now an inventory inactivity report that analyzes your inventory and shows you exactly what items are out there and how long they have been sitting around not sold. If you don't have anything like that, that's part of Reports Pack. By the way, Reports Pack, and I hate to say this, but it does not require Foundation Pack. You can just purchase Reports Pack by themselves. So things like shipped not invoiced, or these documents, all these documents that I kind of alluded to, you can purchase these things just by itself. Expected PO receipt schedule. The guys on the shipping dock love this. I'm on purchasing, and let's see, let's go here to the vendors on purchasing. Where is that report? Purchase schedule. Vendor purchase list, purchase history, purchase received, not invoiced. Oh my gosh, I'm looking for it. Hold on. Inventory purchase advice. Expected PO receipt schedule. There it is. Okay. So here's this report. I'm kind of raving about this one. I love to put this on a clipboard on the receiving dock, because this shows the guys out there, it just takes my open PO lines and puts them in chronological order according to when they're coming in. So they have a clear knowledge of when they're coming in, put this on their clipboard, and then they can just handwrite, the entered quantity, the date received, and any comments that they want about those items. It is a little bit manual. Okay, but then they just turn this in, and then somebody can go in and record these receipts against those open POs. So a nice little report for the guys on the shipping dock. Okay, let's see, lead time calculation, I won't mention that. Requisition worksheet line. This is kind of, for those of you that use the requisition worksheet, it's pretty nice to print out a hard copy of, before you generate your POs, of what you're going to be generating, kind of like an audit report of your requisition lines. Pretty handy report. Bookings report. How many of you actually generate a bookings report? Okay, or have an owner that says, well, what sales have we booked this month? Okay, that should be easy to get. Okay, if that's hard for you to get that, there's a problem. You need to contact me. So I'm going to come in here. Where's my bookings? Let me see here. I think it's over here somewhere. Bookings, here it is. Okay. So I just did a quick example here of a bookings. This is my monthly booking report. Zoom in a little bit for you. Booked but not invoiced. So these are the things that came in, and you would specify a date range like I put in here from 1/1/15 to 1/31/15. So for January of 2015, these are the items that have been booked but not invoiced. And then if I go down further, this may not have it, but we'll just see. Yeah, there's some posted sales invoices in the booking period. So it may not be an open order anymore, but it's been booked and shipped and invoiced, but yet it was still booked in that period of time. So it goes out and grabs those shipments that were booked within that month and then gives me the appropriate totals here, and then, of course, grand totals on the report. If you want more information on any of these reports, again, anything I'm covering here, I know I'm going quickly through it, but I think it's real important, and you just contact me afterwards if you want some samples of any of these reports. Okay, so now that you've seen a little bit on the reports pack, my question in the poll is, would you include reports pack? I got quite a few resellers on the call. Would you include this in your sales efforts? Or for those of you that are end users, would you like to add this in to your existing system? Okay, Ron says yes, we do already. Thank you, Ron, for including the cost control reports pack in your sales efforts. And Mark says yes, this would be very helpful. So good, Mark, appreciate it. These things all just come pre-built, ready to go for NAV 2013 and 2013 R2. Okay. All right, last comment here towards the top of the hour, we're doing great, is the third part of making for an easy startup is proper training. And I'm not talking about basically live training. I'm talking about DVD training. And I like to think of it as warm-ups. Before your NAV consultant, this applies mostly to the end users on the call today. Before your consultant comes out on site, you should start your learning immediately. So as soon as you are thinking about upgrading to NAV 2013, you don't have to wait for the consultant to come out and start training you. You can learn. It's very comprehensive. You can learn about quote to cash process, AP check printing, bank rec, dimensions, posting groups, financial statements, account schedules, purchase orders, all of this. And let me just bring up a website here so you can see where this is located. There is a website where you can learn more about the NAV training material that's available to you. It's called navtraining.net, not .com, it's navtraining.net. And it is a whole series of training. Let's just go to it here. And you should watch the little video. It'll explain all this to you. But here's the training classes that are available. NAV manufacturing. So those of you that want to learn about NAV manufacturing, that is available on DVD. The getting started with NAV, if you're just kind of getting started with the NAV 2013 or 2013 R2, this is a great place to get started with that. For those of you a little more technical and want to learn about how to design pages and move fields around on the pages or reports, how to design your reports, these are the classes that will cover all of that on the DVD. Further down, for those of you interested in our job manager software, we've got a whole training class. This is really for customers that have purchased or are considering the purchase of Job Manager. So we have a whole built-in training class on Job Manager. And again, for the technical people, Table Designer. If you want to learn how to add fields to your tables, set up properties, like you want to add a new date field, you want to add to a item like a warranty date or something like that field that doesn't exist in NAV. We cover that on the Table Designer class. You can learn more here. And I'll just point out too that there is a bundle of all these classes together. So you can kind of, you get a really good price if you purchase all of them at with one order. There is something free here that I'm going to highly recommend as well. It's called How to Personalize Your Dynamics NAV 2013 Pages. And it's a free training. It's about a 60-minute training session. Shows you exactly how to personalize your Dynamics training. It's free. You get instant access. Just click here, and it will you log in, and it takes you to the replay for that 60-minute training on. Highly recommended. Okay, free. My bonus to you here today. Okay, so that's a little bit on the training materials. I think they're pretty much self-explanatory. They work very similar to what you're experiencing here. I'm going through, and probably 80–90% of this is me going through them. There's some big advantages to these kind of DVD training is that you can pause it. You know, you own it, you pause it, you can rewatch things, you can back it up and go again, you pause it and do the exercise, go into the software and just do exactly what you see me do right here on the DVD training. Okay, now let me ask one last poll here. First of all, do you think this is smart to start with this DVD training versus the consultant? And who in your company would use this kind of training? So I'm going to pause before I kind of wrap up with the last couple comments. So let me know if you think this would be helpful to have this kind of DVD training available to your employees. Got 14 on the call today. Good for you, everybody, for taking a little time and joining me. Type in on the keyboard. Like, this would be really good training for a new employee, or this would be helpful for me to review the pages designing, or I always wanted to learn how to create my own reports. It would be really cool to be able to go back and learn how to create your own reports, and we take you through that report builder step by step by step. Okay, Troy says, yeah, perfect. Thank you, Troy. Lauren says, we really like the foundation pack and we are using the reports pack for our new clients. Good. So Lauren is already familiar with that and they like it. So thank you very much, Lauren, for commenting. Okay, so I do have a special offer for those of you on the call, and I always like to have some kind of special offer, and this is a really good one. So everybody says, well, how much does all this stuff cost? Okay, well, yeah, there's three parts to it. There's Foundation Pack, which is normally $1,900. There's Reports Pack, which is $950. And then there's the Getting Started DVD class, which is $795, total of $3,645 if you had to buy them all individually. My offer to you today for either watching this live or watching this on the replay, because this applies to the replay people as well. But you've got to do it by September 31st. That's coming up. $1,997. Huge, huge savings. Okay? But so when you buy all three together, so if you're a reseller, now's your chance to bundle this together on your next NAV install, or for those of you that are rolling out NAV, this is a great way to do it. All we do ask is that you say, I learned about this on the webinar. So you learned about this special price on the webinar, just mention that and we will make sure that you get this special pricing. Everything I've shown you today is about a smoother startup for NAV. That's what I feel this provides for you. And I want you to start your NAV 2013 experience the right way. I want you to start it with at least Foundation Pack, probably Reports Pack in there, and some good training on our DVDs. Put all three of those together. That's what makes for the smooth startup of your NAV 2013. Now, I do want to address two quick questions that often come up, and then I'm going to open up the phone lines for questions. Can this be added to an existing NAV 2013 database? In other words, I'm already using 2013 and I want to add maybe just Reports Pack, or I want to add Foundation Pack to it. The answer is yes. This can be added to any existing NAV 2013 database. Okay, we can help get that done. There might be a small fee to get that done. There's no fee if this becomes your target database. Okay, so the answer is yes, it can be done. And the second question I get the most is, are there user manuals provided? So do we provide manuals with our software? The answer is a big yes. And video instructions are often embedded. So with the Reports Pack and with the Foundation Pack, you'll notice there was no DVD training on how to use Foundation Pack. That's because we include the video instruction of how to use it all embedded in the manual. So when you buy it, you get the manual. The manual's got the videos all embedded in there. Okay, so I'm showing just past the top of the hour. I'm going to open this up for questions. Let me put my contact information right here on screen. My name is Rick Baxter. Company is Cost Control Software, coming to you out of Carmel, Indiana. There's my phone number. There's my email address. You should have this study guide. You should have an email from me, so you should be able to contact me. Okay, so the way the Q&A works, I get a lot of feedback on the lines. I am going to stop the recording, so thank you for those of you that have been watching the replay. Appreciate your joining in on that.